Here we are on beautiful Jones Street.
You saw Ted Jones.
Sponsored by Stock L Dreamery, the most delicious vegan cheese on the market. We got original smoked paprika and chili, garlic and herbs, and I'll tell you what, guys, this is the best vegan cheese you'll have. Don't forget the cheddar melt. Enjoy the episode. There he is.
How do I sound?
You tell me.
Here, let me move over right in front. Now I sound pretty good, right?
You sound perfect. Yeah. Sneak that up a little bit closer to you. What's up, Zach Brazao, avid walker? Freaking Harvard College grad. What's up, dude? We got a lot to talk about.
I can't wait. I'm
What's
looking
up,
forward to it. I love the mirror in here too. This is a great setup.
Take a look at yourself.
Could I have some of this water?
Hell yeah, dude. That's all you. NYC tap.
Is this like a Rothko mug? It's beautiful.
Nice, bro. Yeah, big time artist mug over here. You know what? I have right behind you. I have a Hockney, but I imagine that's just a print.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
You know about Hockney? Yeah,
of course
you do. You mentioned
he had
Rothko.
a 60 Minutes episode.
Did he?
Yeah, Hockney was on 60 Minutes.
Is he alive?
I don't think so, but he might be. I could see him being like 98.
Yeah, big time artist, man. Dude, so hilarious comic, and as I said initially, how many blocks have you walked in the city? You've approached quite a few, or what?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big walker. I walked here from the Chrysler Building, which is a miniature walk. But on May 4th,
not really, but yeah,
we'll be doing the Great Saunter, which is the 33-mile circumnavigation of the island of Manhattan.
The Great Saunter?
They call it the Great Saunter. I just got my bib. Came in the mail yesterday.
What kind of shoes do you wear?
I just wear New Balance shoes.
And you're okay with that? Like your feet don't hurt the next day?
It was horrible. They looked like it was like a homeless foot for a week and a half.
I remember, I think the most, my buddy and I, another fellow comic, Giulio Gallerati, during the pandemic, we were in Long Island and we did like a 9.5 mile trail. And my shoulders started getting sore after that.
A trail might have had an incline. You had things we didn't have to deal with any of that.
Yeah, but still, the New York City concrete. Actually,
it's a horrible incline. It's some serious hills.
Like
it's actually quite bad.
You hit, what is it? Like Sutton East, and you start going up, and then you come back down, and then you hit the Upper West.
We walk it west side up, east side down.
Where do you start?
We start in Battery Park. We actually start at Fraunces Tavern, where George Washington started. And then we go up Battery Park City by the, I think there's a Holocaust museum down there and a fort down there. And then we walk up the West Side Highway, come up into Inwood, pop down East Harlem.
The daunting part about that is it takes so long. Yes,
12 and a half hours.
You run the marathon, 26.2, but you're maybe done within 6 hours.
Have you run the marathon?
No, I don't really want to, I don't think. I'm a pretty big runner. Like I ran today, like 45 minutes,
What was the mileage on 45?
Yeah, probably like 5 miles. I'm running like 8:30, 9-minute miles. Yeah, I could. I don't want to, but I could do it.
Yeah.
I much prefer like, a lift and run. I'm not out there. I'm not like, oh, you freaking running the marathon, 26.2. I'm not really into that. I'm just more of like the everyday kind of doing a little bit each day
just
instead of just hammering
obesity.
that. But yes.
Yeah.
And I'm vegan too, so I'm doing my part.
Yeah, like Kyrie Irving, he's vegan too.
Yeah, but I'm Jewish, so we might not get along.
You might not break bread there.
You might not break bread. But that's great, dude. Okay, May 4th, the 33-mile saunter.
33-mile saunter.
Is this you and some friends, or is this an actual event?
Oh no, this is like there'll be about 3,000 of us, sponsored by the Shore Walkers Advocacy Group, where they've been doing this since the late 70s. As to raise awareness basically of public access for the Manhattan shore and to make sure that we have pathways. We're not able to walk the shore the whole way because some things are under construction. So we do this as like a march.
But what's considered the shore? Just right next to the water?
Right next to the water. We got the beautiful Little Red Lighthouse up in under the George Washington Bridge. We got Chinatown's got a shore. Everybody's got shore.
So this is to raise awareness that developers should not be building right on top of the shore.
Yeah, they should maintain public access.
Okay. And by doing this, you're raising recognition so that the city knows that they're not to sell land.
I think it's more like by doing this, we make use of the shore.
Right.
So then maybe even though once a year we use all 33 miles, maybe throughout the year, you go over there, go to the, go to the Chelsea Piers. Then maybe you pop up to East Harlem. You look out over at the Roosevelt Island. You build it into your life.
So what's the snack situation during this?
Oranges.
Oranges.
They'll hand out some
power
oranges.
gels. Well, where they have rest stops?
There's like one rest stop where people give you stuff. Plus, you're just walking. You can go to a bodega if you need to.
Yeah.
It's not a race. So,
right. Oh, but do they have placings?
They do not. They do make you a little certificate at the end.
And how long do you have to finish it?
I couldn't see anyone doing it in less than 12 hours.
Yeah.
But I couldn't see anyone doing it in more than 14. I don't think there's a lot of disparity between walking paces the way that there is running,
Yeah. Interesting, man. All right. Well, that sounds
There's some
that sounds
disabled,
fun.
like some really people in some seriously physically dangerous
Like people
shape.
with crutches and people in a wheelchair.
Recent knee replacement, hips, pain. I mean, there were some people in pain.
You ever hear of the Barkley marathons?
Yes, I have. Yeah,
Oh my
the first
gosh.
woman ever just completed it this year.
That's insane that you just mentioned that. Yeah, super niche. The Barkley marathons.
My fiance's a big runner, so we've been watching videos. She's been telling me.
I love the Barkley marathons. I've talked about it maybe a handful of times on this podcast. It's basically like a 70-hour race. You do 5 separate loops that are around 25 miles each, and it's through the woods, the worst terrain ever. And yeah, the first woman of all time just finished the race, which is crazy. But I mentioned that because that is an extremely daunting physical task.
That
as
is such a long distance though that you would have to run it. Like I don't think you could try and just walk the whole thing. And
you think mentally it would be too difficult, or
no? I don't think you'd have enough time. Isn't it like a 40-mile loop sometimes?
They say each loop is around a marathon, but it's known to be around 30 miles.
So 30 miles with incline, and you only have what, like 12 hours?
No, you
do
have
each loop?
around that.
Yeah, you
so
couldn't do that. You couldn't walk and do that. You have to be running at that pace. That's really fast.
It's insane. And it's like through pricker bushes, thorns.
Because I think if you just had to run, if you just had to walk, a lot more people could do it. But it's not just about willpower.
So on this podcast previously, we had this ultra runner, Jeff Lawrence. Maybe you're Bronco Billy.
I don't know
Maybe
Bronco
right.
Billy, but she might know.
He does like the Moab 250. He does like the Cocodona 200. These are like 200-mile races running straight up. But yeah, I'm fascinated with ultra running, and then also just long distance.
Do any ultra running?
I don't know, man. I mean, like, I don't know. I don't want to say yes because then I feel like I would have to commit to it.
Right.
But I'm intrigued by it for sure. I think it's insane that people do these things.
What is the pod here? Do we have a topic we have to discuss? What's our ethos?
I don't know. I think we've been hitting it pretty much.
Good. I think so too.
But yeah, bro, it's just I'd say shooting the shit, worldwide topics. Pod.
Nice.
You tennis guy too?
No, I'm not a tennis guy at all. I've never even been to the U.S. Open.
What?
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Bro, you gotta go. Super fun.
But I've only lived here for a few years. I would like to go, but I don't need to go.
Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Massachusetts.
Okay, and you went to Harvard, and they now, within like the last 5 years, have just become very good at tennis. That's why I mentioned.
They have a great team?
Yeah, dude, they're like top 5 in the country now.
Damn.
Yeah, they used to be
number 1?
Right now, it might be TCU or Ohio State, Texas. But I mentioned them because they were always the top 25 team when I was in school. I played tennis at UConn.
Nice.
So that's how I am familiar with college tennis.
But if you are a good tennis player,
yeah,
let's say you're fantastic and you play singles tennis.
Dude, there's so many levels of being fantastic at tennis.
Could you go to a bad school and be like, I'm fantastic? It doesn't matter what my teammates do.
Dude, that's so vague. You can't, like, I can't even describe how vague tennis fantastic means. You know what I mean?
You win every match. Let's say that.
Still, dude, it doesn't matter. Like, I went to UConn, Division I program. You'd say maybe I'm fantastic, right?
I would say that, yeah.
All right, dude. But UConn is basically bottom of the barrel-ish of D1.
Could you have made the pros?
No shot.
You must have been close-ish,
No.
though.
Maybe when I was 14, 15 years old, I thought I could.
There's like 600 guys that make the pros, right?
Not even. I mean, there's 600 guys, yeah, maybe, but they lose money. Like, the only people that... Okay, if you're
I'm just talking just technical pro.
Yeah. So,
not making money, technical pro.
If you're 350 in the world, you're breaking even. If you're 150 in the world, maybe you're making 50 to 75K. If you're top 100, you're making all the Grand Slams. So maybe you're clearing like 200K tops. But they hopefully are changing.
How can you be the worst player who still gets to play
Dude,
professionally?
if you're 1,000 in the world, you were probably top 50 in the country in NCAAs, and maybe you played number 3 at University of Virginia on the singles lineup.
Who was the best guy you played against?
Well, my best win was against Noah Rubin, who was like top, I think he was probably top 75 in the world.
You beat him.
But I was also 16. He was 12.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. But that was well, he was playing up. I was playing 16s. He was 12, so he was playing up.
So is he really good right now?
Yeah, I mean, he's looking to make a comeback. I think he took a little hiatus, but he's looking to make a comeback, and he was around probably 75 in the world, playing in all the Grand
Tennis is
Slams.
not that fun then.
How do you mean?
Like Noah Rubin didn't want to play. He wanted to take time off. Nick Kyrgios wants to play like Madden instead of playing
I know,
tennis.
man, but it's so grueling. Like, in order for you to be that good at tennis, you have to start when you're 4 years old and never miss a day. Yeah.
Could you make your son a pro, do you think?
Me, theoretically? Yeah, but it would also depend on if he wanted to take some time off. Like, if he wanted to take some time off and got burned out, I'd be screwed. I couldn't make him a pro. But if he was fully dedicated and he was like, Dad, I want to do this, yes.
But it's not about want, right? Like Andre Agassi didn't want to do those things. His father made him. Made
him. But by the time like Andre was 12 years old, he didn't have a choice. He just got sent off to voluntary. Yeah.
And how could he say now that wasn't worth it?
He still says it wasn't worth it.
He had the greatest celebrity memoir of all time. A lot of people say that. Andre Agassi's memoir is the greatest one ever written, in part because of that painful relationship that he describes.
Maybe. But tennis relationships, father-son or father-daughter, mother-son, mother-daughter relationships get tumultuous because it's so difficult. You're around them 24/7, and it's hard for tennis parents to turn off the tennis parent switch, you know,
Do you
after
still
the match.
play?
Yeah, here and there. One of my friends owns the pro shop at the National Tennis Center where they play the US Open. So I'll go there maybe like once a month and we'll do a racket review test. So like I'll try out rackets in his pro shop and we'll go on the courts and I'll review it.
At the Billie Jean King Center?
Yeah.
Nice.
But besides that, if I go down to Florida to visit my dad, I'll play, but it's tough to play when it's cold up here. I play a lot more in the summer.
You don't play in a bubble or anything? Or
Sometimes.
Alamo Draft House in Brooklyn, they have a tennis indoor place?
No, I've never played there.
Think about it.
Yeah. But it's harder to play when there's not courts super available to you.
But tennis is a lifelong sport.
It
like
is.
a lot of 50-year-old men don't play gridiron football,
No.
but they still play tennis.
Yes. Golf maybe more so being a lifelong sport, but tennis right up there, I'd say.
Because golf has no aerobic element.
None.
You can be unbelievably out of shape and still be good at golf.
Yeah, because you can take the cart all over the place.
Do you play at all?
Golf?
Yeah.
A little bit. My mom has been getting more into it over the last 5 to 7 years because her boyfriend has been a golfer for years, and she's been trying to get me into it. But dude, I get bored by like hole 12 or 13.
I completely agree that you should only play 9 holes. There's nothing worse than having a fun day playing 9 holes, going to the clubhouse, enjoying a hot dog, and then having to golf again. 9 holes is perfect.
I think it is too.
There's
hour and a half.
There's absolutely no reason to play 18.
You know, Michael Jordan regularly plays 36. You hear that?
Yeah, that's such a ridiculous use of your time.
So he's just out there 8 hours a day, smoking cigars.
It's crazy to play 36.
Gambling.
He must be unbelievable.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear he's very good.
Could he play pro, you think?
Golf?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe. I mean, but golf pro and tennis pro, any sport that is individualized like that, it's just so hard to play pro because you have to be so locked in always.
Yeah.
This new pickleball craze is nuts to me though.
Why?
I've never even played pickleball.
It looks pretty fun.
It does look fun, but I think some of these top pickleballers are getting a little too cocky.
How are they getting cocky?
This one pickleball player is saying that pickleball is harder than tennis. And I was like, bro.
Ted, you fell right into the trap.
Bro, what?
You fell right into the trap. All right. We've already gone over. To even make a respectable living, you have to be like the 50th best tennis player in the world, right? To be the best pickleball player, there's no money. You have to be an entertainer. What sells? Negativity, anger, frustration. That guy has to play the heel. He doesn't, in his heart of hearts, actually believe that he's a better athlete than Andre Agassi, but he has to say that to get under the skin of a sports fan like yourself. So you'll watch on ESPN.
I'm still not watching this turkey saying stuff like that.
Yeah, you're watching.
This guy.
What's this guy's name?
It might be like Ben Jaws or something. And then guys like Jack Sock, who was
Jack Sock.
Jack Sock. He was number one in the country when I was playing. So he was a top guy winning all the championships.
At tennis or at pickleball?
At tennis.
Okay, and he
before
plays pickleball now?
was invented. Yeah, now he's like top 10 in the world.
At pickleball?
Pickleball, yeah, he switched.
And you know him personally?
No. But yeah, I know him from like him winning tournaments.
He's a very smart man. He would have been a middling tennis player who would have died in obscurity.
He won
and now he's a legend.
A few doubles Grand Slams, Jack Sock.
Did he really?
And he was top 10 in the world in singles.
Damn.
In tennis. Yeah, very good
player. What
era? I mean, he's 32.
This is the first I've ever heard the name Jack Sock.
Well, you don't know tennis that much, I thought.
No, I know, but
Jokic, that's a basketball player.
Djokovic.
Yeah, but dude, he's the greatest of all time. One of the greatest of all time.
Federer. Yeah. That's it.
Dude, but those are 4 tennis players.
That's it. That's all anyone knows.
Yeah.
I didn't actually know there were other guys.
Just those 4. Did you watch Breakpoint on Netflix? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I know the Woody Allen movie Match Point, though.
Yeah, I've heard of that. I've never seen it, though.
Breakpoint was like the
documentary,
like the F1 thing. Yeah. People like the F1 one.
Yeah. But I think that brought a lot more people into knowing more about the sport. But they just canceled season 2.
Oh, they did? Was Jack Sock on it?
I don't think so. Maybe he was for a couple seconds, but like not much. Maybe when they were talking about Kyrgios, because they played doubles together.
Oh, they did.
Kyrgios and Jack Sock. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Can you play doubles and singles in the same season or no?
Yeah. At the U.S. Open, a lot of people play the singles draw, and then they also play doubles, and some people play mixed doubles as well.
With a man and woman.
Man and woman, yeah. Which doesn't really get so much hype. I feel like it should get more hype.
It should get tons of hype.
Yeah, it doesn't. And women tennis players, I think, are some of the best athletes in the world.
The Williams sisters.
Sure. But it's fun to watch women tennis.
There's Maria Sharapova.
There is Maria Sharapova. She's a little bit past her prime. I think she's like 36.
There is the newer tennis player with the mental health problems from Japan.
Yeah, Naomi Osaka.
Yes. Yeah.
Do you know any other women tennis players? This is pretty good.
3, okay. But I know only 4 men, so I'm pretty much equitable.
Dude, you got to go to the U.S. Open. I think you'd enjoy it.
I know 4 women: Venus Serena, Naomi Osaka, and Maria Sharapova, and I know 4 men.
Would you know the format of the U.S. Open or no?
No. 15 love.
Yeah, that's the first point. But I mean, there are like 40 matches going on at the same time. It's all.
No, it sounds so fun.
Yeah, it's all in like a mile radius. You walk around and just watch whatever matches you want. And then if you have tickets to the main stadium during the first few days of the tournament, you'll see Novak Djokovic clean up somebody, in straight sets.
Some random guy.
Potentially, yeah. But that random guy, dude, has never taken a day off tennis in his whole life and probably has crazy parents.
He's like Jack Sock.
No, not even. And he's also number 1 in Turkestan, this guy, probably.
Oh, really?
Probably.
Damn.
Or for juniors, yeah. Maybe he was top 10 in the world. Something like that, But it's a difficult sport. That's for sure.
So would you have the younger generation play it?
My younger generation?
Yeah.
My kin?
Yeah, do you want to have kids?
Yeah, I do.
Nice.
But I don't know. If they really wanted to play, I would provide them.
Here's the thing. Now, I'm a fantastic parent because I have no children. So that's all the best parents do.
Yeah.
You have to just tell kids what to do. How will they know how to make a decision if they're not exposed to something?
Well, yeah, but I think you have to expose your child to multiple sports, see which one they like, and then by 11 or 12, kind of narrow them in. But that's the thing with tennis. Like, it would be very difficult to have a top player.
Unless they've decided by 4.
Unless you decide for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just decide for them.
Yeah.
Worst comes to worst, they play a little pickleball.
That sounds terrible, Zach. I gotta be honest.
I think you would enjoy pickleball. I think it's
maybe, but bro, I don't want to be annoying people living up in the building. I
have heard a lot of people complain about that
because they're building them right outside parks, and people want to move next to parks up until they build these pickleball courts, and they're getting woken up at 6 a.m.
We all complain.
That's true.
People bring dogs into grocery stores now. They bring them into bars.
Yeah,
I'd rather have a pickleball court in my living room than a dog.
In a grocery store?
Yeah.
You deal with that dog in a grocery store for 2 minutes.
I'm very against public dogs.
Really?
Very against.
Does your family have any pets?
Yeah, I grew up with dogs. but we didn't need to bring our dog to the barbecue every week.
Why do you care?
I'll tell you why I care. Because some people care. Because we need to build society for the vulnerable, okay? Some people, their dogs are attacking people. There's been some dog attacks over at Herbert von King Park this past week, okay? Sanitation. I don't like it. And to be honest, I don't think a lot of people are very good to the animals, right? They're neutering these dogs. I don't like to see dogs neutered. I really don't. I stand with my canine brothers, and I hate to see them castrated. Those are my talking points. Take it or leave it.
So you just don't like how dogs are being treated, but
and I hate how dirty it is with the dog hair and all this. You know, I got enough people pooping and peeing in my house.
Yeah. True.
I am a human supremacist. I will say that. What can you do?
How did you get into Harvard being from Massachusetts? That must have been very difficult.
I don't think so. I think about 9% of the student body is from Massachusetts.
But isn't it harder to get into a college like that when you're in state?
Probably not, because it's more likely that you'll come and they want as many people to come as possible.
After they accept
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If a Massachusetts smart kid is applying to Harvard, Columbia, Yale, and Stanford, they'll probably go to Harvard if they get into all four. So Harvard, you know what I mean?
What was what were you outstanding in that you got in?
I was a great public speaker. If you're familiar with the American Legion program, Boys State, which was an Apple TV documentary, I won Boys State to go to Boys Nation, which is a very somewhat selective group of things to do. If you're familiar with the portrait of John F. Kennedy shaking a boyhood Bill Clinton's hand, that's at Boys Nation. Michael Jordan did Boys Nation, and me, Bill Clinton, and Michael Jordan. And
they won it too, or no?
Yeah, they won it. They won their Boys State to go to Boys Nation. I didn't win Boys Nation.
Okay.
And I had the serendipity that my speech at one of these Boys State things was filmed, and I sent the DVD to them, and I think that probably was fine. I mean, basically, if you have grades above a certain point, there's 10,000 people that would all be perfectly well suited for the 2,000 spots. So flip them up in the air, and whoever wins, wins. And, you know, I probably had a good essay. I had a good speech.
SAT scores too?
Yeah, I had good, not great SAT scores. I had 99th percentile. I'm sure most people had.
So you'd consider that good, not great?
I would, at 99th percentile, I would consider good, not great. Yeah, a perfect score would be great. I didn't have a perfect
Was it 2,400 when you took it, or out of 1,600?
It was 2,400.
So would you get a 2,360?
2,270.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're right.
Tough day that
good,
day.
Not great.
It's good, not great. Yeah.
But do you have any athletic backgrounds, or it was mostly?
No, I didn't do athletics at all.
I'd be interested to hear this Boys State speech, and what was it about? What was the subject?
I have no idea, but it was extemporaneous, and I played the piano in the middle of it.
What does
and
that
I walked
mean?
up and down off the top of the head.
Really?
Impromptu, yeah.
Whoa! And you played the piano during the speech?
Because there was a piano there, yeah. It was a very electrifying performance for a 16-year-old.
How many minutes was the speech?
It's only like 3 minutes.
3 minutes?
Short attention spans with these admissions officers. They're watching TikTok clips.
But all of them were filmed at that particular Boys State?
That particular day was filmed.
Yeah.
And I killed.
Okay.
So I was able to film it, yeah.
Is that on YouTube?
I bet you actually it is. I couldn't find it, but I bet someone could.
All right. Well, somebody producing this pod, we'll see if I can find it and pop up a little bit of a clip there. Hopefully we won't get copyrighted. I imagine we won't because it's your thing, but that's interesting, man. Wow. Boys State.
That's probably what made the difference.
And what other schools did you apply to? Did you mention those other schools?
I applied to Harvard early. I just applied to public schools. Okay, UMass, Wisconsin.
Yeah. Why is it called Harvard College as opposed to Harvard University in specific cases?
Because Harvard University refers to the Harvard College and the 12 professional schools, like the law school, the business school, the dental school.
Yes.
The college is just the undergraduate school.
Okay. All right. Because I know university applies to all of the colleges under that umbrella, but Harvard College is the undergrad version of it. And Harvard University would be like Harvard Medical School, something like that.
Yeah.
Did you think about going to a program after that, after college?
Absolutely not. No. I'm extremely opposed to student loan debt, and I graduated with $37,000 of student loans.
That's not bad.
No, right? It's not bad, but I hated every minute of paying it off. Yeah.
Did you enjoy going to Harvard?
No, I enjoy being an adult more than I enjoyed being a student. I think I grew up in a very multi-generational setting, and I was not really suited to live with 18 to 22-year-olds exclusively. I've always related more to people older than me.
You were a mover for a little bit.
I was a mover. Yeah, you do a lot of good research.
Thank you, bro. That was in New York City?
I was in New York City, yeah.
How long did you do that for?
I only did that for like 6 months, maybe.
Okay. And was it like a cash job or what?
Yeah,
you know, a lot of comics do that.
A lot. I mean, I worked with a ton of comics.
Oh,
yeah.
really?
It was like all comics and then some neighborhood guys. Yeah, it was a good bunch.
And that's how you got your footing in New York. When did you move to New York?
I moved to New York like 6 months before the pandemic.
Ooh. And you stayed here throughout, or did you go back?
No, I went back to Massachusetts and then I came back again.
And when you went back to Massachusetts, what did you do? Just lived at home?
I mean, I don't want to get too much into COVID because it is a great way to throw me into a rage, but I was an extremely obedient person. So if they said, oh, COVID, 2 weeks shut down, I just stayed shut down.
Why would it get you in a tizzy to talk about it?
Then we'll be talking about it, Ted.
You don't want to?
I think that a lot of people did not follow rules to stay at home, and they were much better off for that.
They were better off that they didn't follow rules.
Yes, I think that the people who broke the rules were largely rewarded for that, yeah.
In Massachusetts specifically, or
oh no,
around
now we're going to go down another thing. So in New York City, I took one trip to Indiana, one trip to Carolina, one of the Carolinas, I forget which one, during COVID. They didn't really do it. Like if you wore a mask, people thought you were weird, right? They didn't work from home as much. They didn't really do it. New York City allegedly did it. Like you had to have a vax card, you had to shut down, whatever. But also, New York is the greatest city in the world if you don't care about politics, because New York is ungovernable. There is no law in this city. You know what I mean? So it doesn't matter what the law is, you don't have to follow it. In Boston, in Massachusetts, there is a deep culture of rule following and bureaucracy that people loved the law. I worked at Starbucks in Massachusetts during COVID, and people like loved yelling at people for not wearing masks. That was their dream. It's a Massachusetts person's dream to see someone breaking a rule so that you can scream at them. Yeah. They love it. People love following rules in Massachusetts. We're addicted to rules up there. I don't know if you felt that same rule following dichotomy.
I think people in New York did seem to follow the rules, but maybe...
But you didn't have to if you didn't want to. 50 Cent was throwing parties in Astoria on Steinway Ave, you know?
Yeah. It was a weird time.
New York was great because you could do like if you wanted to be COVID conscious, wear the mask, wash your hands. And I was very COVID conscious. You were allowed to do that. If you wanted to completely ignore it and go to private parties, you were also able to do that. You know, there's always people breaking the law in New York.
Why do you think people were rewarded for not following the law? How do you mean?
I would say that it was not good for me personally to spend so much time inside. So the amount of joy that I felt would have been greater if I didn't do that.
Wow.
They were rewarded in their joy. They were rewarded intrinsically. Not that they like necessarily made monetary gains.
Right. And I think a lot of people were affected negatively mentally by staying inside.
Correct.
As well.
I was. Yeah.
Okay.
I am not an indoor person.
I mean, bro, you're a big walker.
I'm a huge walker.
Do you like kind of mark off which streets?
I don't. No. I think I've done.
You know who would know though? Your iPhone would definitely know.
I don't always leave the home with an iPhone.
Bro, I love that.
I have a weekend flip phone so I'm untracked on the weekends.
Wow. And how do you keep track of comedy spot? I mean, you know what you have to do and you just bring the phone.
Exactly. And if someone tries to add me something last minute, too bad, I missed it. That's life. You know what I mean? Like the cost.
The weekend flip phone, dude.
The cost of missing one
sick.
thing or two things here and there is much less than the cost of being constantly tethered to a screen.
What is dude, I love that.
I have a different phone number.
Who has it?
My fiance, my parents, and that's it.
Bro, I love that.
I can't
want
be
a flip
reached.
phone. I want a flip phone, dude.
Get the flip.
'Cause sometimes I feel like I just need to put it down. Like,
I truly don't. I don't believe in moderation. I think you can only restrict things, like you do with meat. You know, that's how I feel. So it would never work for me. I have to like eliminate things from my life.
and when does the flip phone start and when does it end?
Well, sometimes I'll go
hours.
right from work on Friday to a comedy thing. So I might have the iPhone with me. But Saturday, I'm all flipped up. I'm flipped up on Saturday.
Sunday too,
Yeah.
flipped up?
Oh, yeah.
And then Monday morning, you're back on the iPhone.
Monday morning, I'm back on the internet.
I love that, dude.
It's good
I
for
think
you.
we can all take a note.
I
from
think
that.
a lot of people would be into it for sure.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's like an extended Shabbat.
Yeah, some people do it. They call it the digital Sabbath. There are other people that do that. They don't use any electricity or internet. I'll check email on my computer when I wake up, you know.
On Saturday, Sunday?
Yeah. But maybe I'll stop. I don't know. I would love to have no internet at all. But you can't do that.
You know. Sometimes I feel like that too. Like I'll leave my phone at home, I'll go for a walk, come back an hour later, and I'm like, ah. And then also when I go to the gym, I don't bring my phone. So I'm in there,
Dude,
no headphones.
I'm speaking your language. I don't
You
headphone
are.
it either in the gym. I think it's absolutely bananas that all
Soft.
these people are headphoned
Soft.
up. Yeah.
Dude, I
No
hit the
need for
gym,
it.
weights, and then I go hit a run, no
Yeah.
headphones, bro.
There's absolutely
People
no
are
need
like, what
for
do you
it.
do? I'm like, dude,
Absolutely no need
I got
for
the
headphones.
Lord.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
don't need a headphone.
Yeah.
You definitely don't.
Arnold was in there too. In
And
the gym,
it's
no
not
headphones.
good for everybody to constantly have things piping into your head. Although if you're listening to this podcast while working out, thank you. I appreciate it.
There you go.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Keep it going.
Keep it going. But I love that, dude. Yeah, I think we would all benefit from at least one day a week leaving our phone at home all day. Although it does seem just so difficult, you know, 'cause especially being in our industry, we really do have to be connected a lot.
You think you do.
You
know,
think you do, you're right.
You know, Ted, you were talking about the top 50 tennis players make a decent living. I mean, it's really the top 50 comics make a decent living. And you got 100,000 of us on our phones all day saying it's going to work out. You know, you got to be on the internet. But my problem is in trying to produce more for the internet, I've consumed much more. And that's a major loss for my life, you know.
The consuming is a big issue.
It'd be great if I could just hire someone to film me for 1 hour a day and then have them put it all up.
That's the dream.
That would be the dream. Is this a daily podcast?
Well, I'm either editing, filming, writing, or something Ted Jones World related every day. But this comes out Mondays and Thursdays.
Oh, nice. So twice a week.
Twice a week.
Damn. On YouTube?
On YouTube.
Nice. I'll check it out.
And and Spotify and Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music. You know,
Nice.
we're all over the place. But yeah, dude, I've been doing this for August will be 5 years, and very consistent over here. Very consistent.
Wow. And why did you call it the Ted Jones World? Why not Universe? Do you feel like you sold yourself a little short there?
No, I think the world rings, and Ted Jones Universe might not ring. But also, the handle Ted Jones World started as a Finstagram. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Finstagram.
That's like you wanted to put up suggestive photos and didn't want your tennis coach to see, kind
and
of thing?
videos,
Yeah.
of things that like were kind of inside jokes between myself and however many followers I had at the time that were just my friends or people that had the account.
Right.
And then it became my main account. You know, I had my other account that was, you know, my personal account when I worked in real estate.
The Finsta became the Insta.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was just, I went by Ted Jones because one of my friends on the tennis team and I used to smoke pot. And there was a movie called Pineapple Express that came out, and Ted Jones was the drug dealer. So every time he'd hit me up, he'd be like, "Yo, Ted Jones, we blazing tonight?"
Yeah.
And then people on the tennis team started calling me Ted Jones, and then the Finsta came up.
And were
Ted
you
Jones
allowed
World.
to smoke marijuana as an
No,
NCAA athlete?
no, we got
But they
in
never
trouble.
tested you? Or
Well,
what?
I did get tested eventually, and I failed the test. I
And
got
then
in
they're
trouble.
like, you get in trouble? You're like Adam Pac-Man Jones.
Yes.
And Ted Jones, suspended for marijuana.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, dude, you know what? No, I haven't smoked weed in 2 months, bro.
Good for
it's the
you,
longest
man.
I've gone like in my life, probably since I was.
Do you feel
15.
better now?
I think
Your dreams were probably weird for a minute.
Wild. And
you were
so
smoking
vivid.
doobies every day,
bro.
For what, 15 years?
Yeah, like 5 or 6.
Dang.
Every day. Chiefing. I mean, I would have cutoffs like 3 hours before stand up, 3 hours before the pod. I wouldn't, because otherwise I would just lose a stat. But I also have the same sort of cutoff with food as well. I don't eat right before I go on stage. I don't eat right before the pod.
You couldn't well, you get a little sleepy, right?
A little sleepy.
But not vegan food. That's not heavy.
Still, I'm not as sharp.
You like to have that burning glucose kind of mentality.
Yeah, I usually don't eat until 5 or 6 p.m.
Just once a day? You're an nomad guy?
Like once or twice usually. Like once I start eating, I probably won't stop. If I start at 6, I'll stop at 11 type.
Oh, wow. So you can eat multiple meals in that kind of
Yeah. But I'm very simple with what I eat, being vegan. I'll either have a vegan burrito, avocado, rice, chickpeas, or cashews. That's really all I eat.
No coffee for you?
I love coffee, bro.
Oh, really?
I'll have
you can
a
eat
few
that
a day.
all morning?
I'll have coffee all morning, and then I'll break it, afternoon. Yeah, I'm a pretty simple guy with what goes into my body.
No processed?
I'll eat processed. If it's vegan, I'll eat processed.
Oreo cakester?
Yeah, if it's vegan.
Is it vegan?
Well, Oreo is vegan.
Noom and O's probably are too.
Probably.
Yeah. How long you been vegan?
Since I had jaw surgery like 4.5 years ago, right around the time that I started this podcast, started the podcast, went vegan. A lot of changes in my life at that particular time.
What'd you have to get jaw surgery for?
I had TMJ. You familiar?
You know what? TMJ is one of those things. I heard the name. I really have no idea what TMJ is. And here's my question before I frame it.
Is it a scam?
No, not as a scam. Is TMJ a genetic condition? Or is it like an illness or temporary,
I think it's probably genetic, because in my circumstance, one side of my my jaw grew further than the other. So I had an uneven jawline. And you could see in some pictures I was a little bit crooked. It wasn't noticed to like the naked eye, but if you look at pictures, you can kind of see my face is a little bit.
And then they were like,
askew.
let's fix this TMJ, let's shave down the jaw.
Yeah, I went to the orthodontist and he showed me photos and just like lined me up. And I was like, oh, wow. And he's like, you should probably do the surgery. It's going to get worse. And I was like, all right, whatever, let's do it. And I had no idea what I was getting myself into.
It was very bad.
I mean, it was an insanely long healing process that I really didn't expect. I have metal plates in my face. And I have numbing a little bit on my chin still.
Damn. So knowing all that, would you do it again?
I mean, knowing how my life changed and how I'm sitting on the couch with you right now, bro, I think so. But it was just such a crazy process. It was wild.
But it sounds like
It's an interesting
you endorse
question.
the spiritual benefits of TMJ recovery.
I think. I was doing a lot of drugs. I broke up with my girlfriend at the time.
Wow.
I went vegan and I started a podcast.
That was
and I started
all
doing
based on
stand-up.
TMJ surgery?
I think so.
That was like what, 2019-ish?
2019, July.
So right before the COVID.
Right before. Dang. And I was working in real estate, bro. And that's when I slowly switched out.
And you're not in real estate anymore?
No.
You couldn't even do a deal? If I brought you one? You couldn't flip something real quick?
I didn't have a real estate license. I was a property manager.
You never had a license?
No.
Why not get the license?
I tried one time, dude.
It's not that hard, though.
Well,
right?
for me, apparently it was. I didn't get
fail?
it. Yeah.
Dang.
But I also didn't really try that hard to get it, to be honest.
Did you study?
I did a little bit, but you needed to study more.
Yeah, you need to study.
I didn't want to.
So
And
you
thanks
used to
God I
manage
didn't,
the
bro.
property,
Yeah.
and you would never do that now.
No, dude. I don't want to tell 60-year-old super, hey, why don't you fix that PVC pipe over there? Is this drywall all right?
Yeah.
You know?
Horsehair.
Yeah.
That's I always tap wool. That's horsehair right
Yeah.
there.
I don't want to do that, dude. I did it for a number of years and I wanted to love it since it was my family's business. I was like, this could be great.
Do you have siblings?
Yeah.
So
2
they'll
younger
take it
sisters.
over.
No.
Oh, your dad must be devastated.
No, I don't think so. I think he had the experience of me working there for 6.5 years and him realizing that I wasn't really super into it.
Yeah.
And bro,
sure.
it's a legacy business, you know, like I think his mindset, he listens to the pod. So
Yeah.
Dad, you let me know what you think.
Right.
But he probably will give a good amount of it to us and then see what we want to do with it.
Right,
But
right.
maybe if he wants to sell anything, he is more than open to sell and live off the fruits of his labor from selling. But if he wants to keep it and give it to us, hey, same kind of shit, you know?
But you didn't have a passion for real estate.
I wanted to, dude. I wanted to. And maybe for the first 2.5 years, I really tried to dig my feet in. When it was new,
you were like, all right, I could see myself.
I was like, all right, man, this is beautiful. It's on a silver platter. I was 23 years old telling people what to do.
Was it all New York real estate?
Mostly. And Jersey City, Journal Square, if you're familiar. Some Florida stuff.
I've been through that path station. Yeah.
How do you mean?
I've been to the path. The Journal Square. Yeah.
You've been on that path.
You know what I like, and this probably says a lot about me, speaking of Jersey City. I like Newport in Jersey City.
It's a great area, dude. I mean,
perfect.
It's like
clean,
8 minutes from
quiet.
Christopher Street.
How can you go wrong? Some people
I don't think
say it's boring.
people don't even know about it.
I'm all about Newport.
Newport, Grove Street, and then we were in Journal Square. That's where a lot of the properties were.
Love Journal Square. Beautiful spot.
Yeah.
I think Jersey City has one of the nicest views in the world.
Yeah.
Nicer than my view from Bay Ridge, Brooklyn, New York.
Yeah. Okay, so you're in Bay Ridge.
Yeah. Did you have any spots down there?
No.
Any Brooklyn or no?
Yes, some in like Sunset Park.
Oh yeah.
Bushwick towards the end of my real estate career. Bushwick, Ridgewood, that area, multifamily stuff.
Bay Ridge is exceptional.
Right, but it's tough to get in there.
It is, yeah, because it's great, so everybody already knows.
Yeah.
Not a lot of upside because you get a great mansion there though.
Sure.
Shore Drive, $11 million mansion.
No
gorgeous.
Way.
Yeah.
Well, is it right on the beach?
There's no beach, but you're looking out over the water.
Do they have shore protection over there?
Oh, we're on a ridge, as it indicated. We don't flood. We're doing fine.
But being on a ridge, what does that really entail?
We're high up. No erosion. We're doing fine.
I wonder what'll happen in the future with that. Well, you never know with this climate, dude.
No, you never know. I personally wouldn't want to own property on the water. But
well, what about Florida?
I'm not going to own property in Florida because I'm never going to go to Florida.
Why not?
I probably have 2 more trips to Florida in my life.
What?
My fiance is from Orange County. I'm moving there. I'm not moving to Florida. You know what I mean?
You don't mind the taxes out there? Mr. Tax Guy?
Do I mind the taxes out there? Absolutely. Will I base my whole life around taxes? No.
Maybe, will you base 6 months around taxes?
I don't think I could live a peripatetic lifestyle like that just for tax evasion.
Bro, what does that mean?
That means constantly wandering, always on the move.
Because of taxes?
Well, when you want to have kids, you have to live somewhere. They have to go to school.
That's true. You don't like New York?
I love New York.
So it would either be Orange County or New York.
Or Massachusetts. That's where my family's from.
You'd move back there?
I wouldn't because of the rule-following culture, as I previously indicated. I do think Massachusetts has cultural problems. Yeah, I like the area where I grew up. It was the film American Fiction, Oscar, maybe winner, filmed in my hometown, Situate, Massachusetts. Beautiful, idyllic place to grow up. Danny Amendola's grandparents, they lived right there on Sandhills. And
Patriots wide receiver.
Yeah, it was fantastic. But no, I wouldn't go back to Massachusetts. The traffic is very bad. The weather is very bad. There's a rule-following culture which permeates everything. It's extremely expensive. But also, my parents are from a great town called Stoughton, Massachusetts. Beautiful diversity, wonderful place. And Ted Chiang, the short story author, science fiction, he lives in Stoughton, Massachusetts. He would write that on the MBTA train ride in. But no, I wouldn't go back to Massachusetts. Honestly, Percival Everett, the author of the aforementioned American Fiction that was adapted from a novel he wrote, he said it's the natural progression of things that a man moves from east to west. So I'm not going to move east again.
Why is that a natural progression?
It's the way the sun goes.
So
Horace Greeley, go west, young man.
You know, I grew up in New York City. Where would I go? I go to LA.
You grew up in New York City? You're not from Connecticut? Where'd you go to high school?
A professional children's school for tennis.
Oh, you weren't an amateur child?
60th between Columbus and Amsterdam.
Oh, so you were locked in on tennis. You went to high school for tennis. So all these fellas, they went to play tennis.
Well, no, it was a performing arts school. So actors, singers, dancers, models, ballerinas.
And tennis guys?
And a few tennis people, yeah. It was so I could get out at 1 p.m. on a Wednesday and go play from 2 to 4 p.m.
That's insane.
And then leave to go to Florida for a tournament on Thursday, and they'd send me the homework. So from 10th, 11th, and 12th grade, I did that. And 9th grade, I was homeschooled.
Oh, so the other kids were professional actors. They weren't people who they were already child acting. These people are working professionals.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. So I know a lot of kids, who still are whatever in the industry and such. I'm the only stand-up, though, I tell you that.
Not one got into it?
No. I think it was just because like performing arts, it's a lot different.
So you will live in New York City the rest of your life?
Unless something or someone brings me to LA, I can't imagine I would see myself in.
Exactly.
My dad
so
lives
you don't
in Miami.
care about taxes. You're not about to go move to Miami for taxes.
Yeah. Well, it depends. It depends. If someone or something brought me there, I can be persuaded, bro, by someone or something.
I could be too. And I was persuaded by someone to move to California.
Right.
I trust me, would it be fantastic to move to Tulsa, Oklahoma, a low tax state, a burgeoning economy with oil, with one of the most beautiful urban parks in the world? It would be fantastic. I would love to move my whole family to Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Not Florida?
No.
Why not Florida?
Florida's already expensive. Florida's hot. I have nothing against Florida, but I don't feel that Florida has infinite upside like Tulsa, Oklahoma.
But is the weather even good there?
In Tulsa, Oklahoma? Not really. But you don't want permanently good weather.
You want permanently solid weather.
Yes.
Which San Diego theoretically has. And
San
Orange
Diego
County
is beautiful.
maybe.
And Orange County is great too. Yeah, but to be honest, the marine layer that comes in makes the days kind of gloomy to start.
Where? In San Diego?
In Southern California in general. But I love Balboa Park in San Diego. I love San Diego.
I spent a lot of time in Carlsbad playing with a tennis coach out there.
Really?
Which is in San Diego, yeah.
You like to hit him out there?
Yeah, well, he lived out there and we met when I was homeschooled for freshman year or so for like a year. I went out there. I had a private tutor, bro.
So you read Huck Finn with that man, that woman.
Yeah, dude. And sometimes during history class, I would fall asleep.
It was just you and Joy.
No, it's just me and Joy's husband, Richard, who taught me history.
So Richard taught you history and Joy taught you what?
Everything else, pretty much. But bro, I played tennis from 5:30 a.m. to 7:30 a.m. Then I had running from 9 to 10. Then I'd have school from 12 to 3:30. Then I'd be back on the court from 5 to 7. And I've had fitness at that particular time.
So did you like that? Did you want to be a tennis pro?
I think.
You played so much tennis.
So much tennis.
What were you ranked worldwide, do you think?
Bro. In my age group in the world?
Yeah.
1,500.
When did you know? Like when was your... I mean, at some point you must have said it's crazy to play this much tennis.
I think I was influenced negatively by the coaches around me that wanted to take advantage of the resources that my family had at the particular time.
They wanted to get money from you. Yeah. It's a very funny way to milk money from somebody, is just to teach their child tennis for like 20 hours a day.
Well, it was probably a good way to do it, though.
So they did they convince you that you would be a pro? Were they like, Ted, you're fantastic.
I was always a phenomenal athlete. Like, I chose tennis over baseball when I was 12 years old. I won MVP my little league in New York over here when I was 12. And I decided at that particular point that I wanted to play tennis instead.
And that's competitive. New York City, Manny Ramirez played Little League in New York City.
It was not Manny Ramirez Little League type, bro. It was Peter Stuyvesant Little League. Manny Ramirez was playing in the Bronx.
He wasn't coming down.
He wasn't coming down to Peter Stuyvesant.
So you weren't playing Manny Ramirez. You didn't play Hanley Ramirez.
No. But I was very good, and I was an athlete, and I dominated. Like, bro,
you probably should have played.
I swear to God.
You hit puberty early, though, didn't you?
I swear to God, bro. I hit 900
in a year.
How
tall were you when you were 12? Were you like 5'10" at 12?
No, I was probably like 5'7", 5'8".
You're a pretty big guy.
I was a big guy, athlete, insane hitter, solid pitcher, shortstop.
So if you had kept up with baseball, I probably would have gotten injured at some point, statistically.
Yeah, but I could have played D1 ball, 100%.
And then you could have been drafted, easy.
Yeah,
but then anything else from there.
Yes. I'm confident that I could have played Division I baseball, yes. But anything after that, I'm not sure.
You know what one of my favorite things about baseball is, and I didn't even realize this until recently, if you're a single A baseball player, so you're a quote unquote professional baseball player, they don't even think that you'll make the major leagues. You're literally a warm body to help the one or two promising prospects develop. Like, you're not expected to go pro. You know what I mean? Like, if you get drafted, you don't have a 1 in 1,000 chance of going pro. Some of those people have a 1 in 2 chance, and some of those people have a 0% chance. They will never make pro. They're just there as window dressing.
Well, what about to go from single A to triple A? What do you think the numbers on that are?
Pretty bad. One of my favorite athletes of all time, Bryce Brents. You know him?
No.
Triple A home run leader, like 3 years in a row. Played for the Pawtucket Red Sox. He was pulling down 500K, playing ball. That's pretty good.
In AAA?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's more than the league
Rusney
minimum.
Castillo was pulling down $30 million in AAA.
No.
Yeah, he's from Cuba, and then he wasn't actually good. He was pulling down $30 million, something like that. And if he was activated to a big league roster, they would have owed him like $50 million. But he wasn't good enough for $50 million. But he was actually too good to play in AAA. Rusney Castillo, look him up. You follow baseball?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, I used to read a lot about it.
You're a big reader also. You, I know that you enjoyed reading a few newspapers per day when
I
you had
used
the
to
chance.
read 3, yeah. And that's when I would follow the Red Sox most heavily, is when I read the Boston Globe every day. I would also read the game recap every day. You know, that was my era, 2018
I
Red
see
Sox.
you reading some type of papers, though, pretty recently. Do you still
I read
do
the
that?
Times, yeah, for sure. But if I had more subscriptions, I would love to read the Financial Times again. One of the great papers.
You're an old soul.
I don't know if I'm an old soul. I like talking to people. I like reading, you know. I like digital Sabbaths, but am I an old soul? Who knows, you know? Mm-hmm. You know, Mitch McConnell's an old man. I don't think I would necessarily get along with him.
Yeah,
You
he
know?
needs to hang it up, huh?
Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. On the other hand, I respect it. If you have a job you love, keep it forever.
You think he loves it?
I think he's absolutely in love with his
What is
job.
he, the senator of where?
Kentucky, the Commonwealth of Kentucky.
Why is he so prominent and famous?
Because I
of his look?
believe he's the senator. That's really funny. Do you clip this pod?
Yeah. What? That was funny?
That's honestly one of the funniest things I've heard last 7 weeks, at least.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like he's got the
no,
look.
that's killer timing.
All right.
Because he's the Senate Majority Leader.
Oh.
He has a very prominent position. I like that you almost objectified Mitch McConnell. Like, some people are like, oh, why is she famous? Just because she's pretty. No, because she's a great basketball player. She's a great senator. You said Mitch McConnell, you reduced him to his body, his physique. But he's Senate Majority Leader. For the Commonwealth of Kentucky, I would love to go to Kentucky someday. Have you ever been?
Maybe I
You must
flew
have
over
played
there.
a little tennis over
No.
there. I've been one time to Kentucky, but I'd love to go again.
Maybe I went there.
Cassius Clay, Muhammad Ali is from Kentucky, Louisville.
Louisville Slugger. Speaking of baseball.
Yep, you probably had a couple of those around.
Yeah, and they have a huge bat outside of the factory there.
I'd love to go. Have you been? Did you use that in property management at all? A bat for security? Yeah. Just because you're screaming and yelling doesn't mean it's personal. That's how people show frustration. You know? Yeah.
Yeah, but don't you think it's a sign of weakness when people scream and yell?
Oh, you've never heard me scream. I don't yell. I don't scream at all. And because this is why. Screaming hurts you. Your blood pressure will go up. You look like a fool if you're screaming and yelling at a certain point, you know. That's why I don't discuss COVID. I would just start screaming and yelling.
Yeah, maybe I had a time in the past, like years ago, with like an ex-girlfriend. Where
I
I'd
don't
be screaming and yelling.
I don't scream. I think also screaming is very uncouth in this day and age. In the 90s, you couldn't hit people. 2020s, you can't even yell at people. You can't do it anymore. I don't do it.
You don't need to do it. You get your point across just by speaking.
And if you don't, you don't. You know what I mean? People, they don't listen. You can't move a needle. You can't have an impact. You just need to accept, right? That's what the Buddha said. You believe in God?
Definitely.
Nice.
I don't know if that's from Judaism. That's from other things.
That might just be from America. I think we have a different form of religiosity that kind of meshes Judaism and Protestantism.
You think?
I think that those are the two most influential faiths. Like, I'm Catholic and I'm fairly religious. I just went to church on Sunday. It was Divine Mercy Sunday. But I also love to go to Pesach. Why is this night special? You notice I'm reclining, you know. And but my Catholicism is very influenced by Protestantism because that's so culturally significant. Like, I do firmly believe that the most culturally significant groups in America are African Americans, Jewish Americans, and Bostonians.
Why?
Right? And so African American spiritual thought has affected me deeply in the way that I conceive. You know, gospel music, Kalante Gavin, Marvin Sapp, Kirk Franklin, right? Tasha Cobb. Their conception of God has influenced my own. That is distinct from the Catholic doctrine, I think. It may be yours too, right? Like if you think, you know, that God could help you out, that might be a little more of a American Protestant.
I wonder if that's becoming more of a universal belief too. Belief in that way.
Well, Islam is much more popular than I think maybe Protestantism on a global scale. So probably not.
Well, what do they?
I'm not really sure,
believe?
to be honest. I know about Burak. That was the donkey that the prophet rode up to heaven. I know about Burak. I know about iftar, breaking fast for Ramadan. I know about wudu, wash. I know about praying 5 times.
Yeah.
But I don't know a ton about, you know what I mean? We know, I know some key words for Islam, but I don't know the unifying theory behind it.
Yeah, it seems to be very popular.
I don't.
Yeah.
I know that Isa, Jesus, they talk about him in there. But I don't know a ton about what the unifying theory of it is. Whereas I think I do for Judaism and Christianity, right? But I don't know for Islam.
You know, we didn't talk about comedy this entire pod, but I just wanted to note that.
Do you normally talk about comedy?
Not really.
Okay,
but
yeah.
we at least mention it.
Yeah.
At least we get into the end in here and we haven't mentioned it. Your references on stage, I think it's definitely, you can tell that you're a man of literature and you've read so much and you know so much history that like your references are so poignant and specific. But it's
think
very
that
interesting.
references are specificity, and people like specificity, right? Greta Gerwig, when she made Lady Bird, said, "I made Lady Bird about Sacramento. It's very specific to Sacramento, and because it's so specific to Sacramento, it's general to everybody because everybody has a place that they attach to with that level of love,
Specificity,
and specificity. So I try to be specific.
Yeah, like I remember I was watching you the other night and we were talking about South Africa and you were talking about a flag of a town or something in South Africa.
I might have talked about Milk Tart or Vereeniging. My father's from Vereeniging, South Africa, but I don't even know how to pronounce that.
Maybe it was like an orange flag or something.
Maybe we were talking, that must have been a different country if it was orange.
South
I don't know,
Africa?
it was an orange flag. I don't know.
Something. I don't know.
New York has an orange
Maybe
flag.
right, but a town in South Africa, something like that. I don't know. Dude, Zach.
Orange Free State.
That's what it is.
The Orange Free State is out there.
And where is that?
That's a province of South Africa.
That's what I meant. Zach Brazao. Dude, thank you so much for coming on the pod. This is really a true pleasure, bro.
It's Ted Jones World,
Thank you, man. What should we call this episode?
Whatever you want. Ted does his research. Call that. You are very well researched, which has to be appreciated.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Zach, before we get out of here, we're popping up your Instagram.
Oh, great.
This
Thank you.
comes out on Thursday. So please let us know if you have anything coming up this weekend or you keep everyone updated on Instagram, but let us know where we can find you.
Yeah, this is coming out Thursday. I'll actually be in Delaware on Saturday night. I'll be seeing a concert on Friday night, so you can't catch me. And tax day is coming up, and I got some good post plans. I have a lot of tax-based content, so please check me out on Instagram.com.
Love it. Guys, file your taxes April 15th. Zach, we'll see you soon. Guys, thanks so much for tuning in. Peace.